Am I live? Is this thing on? Welcome, everybody, to the Hollow Chronicles podcast. No Josh today. We are going to do a stream here soon, kind of going over what our experience was like a couple weekends ago as vendors at the Washington State Toy Show. But until then, I wanted to show a few things that I picked up and got a sweet gift from Red 5 Designs. Wanted to say thanks for joining this kind of short notice. Just kind of whipped this up this morning. And those in the chat catching us live, I'm glad you're here. I will do my best to keep up with questions and such on my own here. But I do have a guest joining us who will be great at asking questions. You might recognize her from the Ladies Night stream last weekend on the Shabby Geek Show. She's my plus one here today. And welcome to the stream, Miss Emily.
Hi.
Hey.
Glad to be here.
So am on unboxing or a reveal kind of stream. I'm just going to show some stuff. Feel free to inquire. I know you're not a Star Wars collector, but your questions might actually be really helpful for those watching. That's what I'm hoping.
They may be relevant for the random plus one who could be beside a viewer and just hearing some of the stuff and interested in what's going on. But other than that, probably I'm not Josh, okay?
No, definitely not. But that's okay. That's not all bad either. Just real quick shout out to Keith and G-Force and Gary. Gary's at the New York Comic-Con this weekend. He's having a blast. He's sent me a couple pictures of what he's been up to, and it's pretty cool. Let's see who else. Dez and Cy, good to see you. Oh, Connor. And, oh, yes, Wizzy. Coxie's Toy Cantina. Good to see you there, buddy. Yeah, we got a good group. Jeff, good to see you, bud. And our pal Gilster. So as people are joining in here, last 2 weekends ago, Josh and I were vendors at the Washington State Toy Show that was in Vancouver, Ridgefield, Washington. And it's the second time we've done this. And that experience has been great for us both times. But even though we were vendors, there were a couple of opportunities for me to walk around and see what's there. And that takes place mostly on the setup night, the day before, where everybody's putting their booths together. And then once that's finally done, you just kind of walk around and say hi to people that you might know or other vendors that you've kind of run into in the past. And I happened to run into an old friend of mine named Corey, who used to own a record shop in town, but now has moved and lives in Portland. And he still buys and sells and trades vintage tech and games, and, video games and consoles. And he had just, I was catching up with him, and he had shared with me that he had just bought a guy's old VHS collection, about 8,000 tapes in total. He was telling me, he showed me a picture of like a storage container packed full of these VHSs in it. And as it turns out, he was an old store owner, video rental store owner. And
wait, how much room does 8,000 VHS tapes take up?
A full, storage unit, like a garage door size, not a door size, like a garage door size, a single car garage. We'll say that. Single car garage full of VHS cassettes. There's obviously going to be some winners in there and some duds as well, but he must have gotten them for a pretty good deal. But within that, there were a lot of video related posters. And I want to point out right at the start, none of the posters that I'm about to show you are theatrical release posters. Okay, these are all intended for a video store window or advertisement And so these are not theatrical. And what that means is that they're oftentimes not as much money. They might look like theatrical posters, but they're not. Then there's a few ways you can kind of tell sometimes, because some versions look just like the theatrical versions. But that's where I wanted to start.
Are these posters I would have seen at Blockbuster, like those kind of posters?
Yeah, this one came from like a mom and pop kind of store, not like a chain video rental store like a Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or something like that. This was more like a around the corner kind of place, where they would sell or rent VHSs and maybe like you could rent an Atari console or something like that too, in the 80s, back when you could do such things in brick and mortar type situations. Let me just catch up with the chat here real quick before I get to the first one, which is right over my shoulder, in case you haven't seen. Yeah, there might be some parallel stories going on here. I bet at this store you could get laser discs, even though that window of popularity for laser discs was pretty brief. It was like VHS is dominated, beta VHS to just VHS to DVD. Well, before the DVD got small, the laser disc was cool, mostly in schools. I feel like that's where I saw them most often. I
don't think I've ever seen a laser disc.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody rich enough to have a laser disc player or a collection.
That must say a lot about my hometown then.
Yeah, mine too. Okay, first poster. Let me zoom in on this. Is a Return of the Jedi, the movie everyone's been waiting for. CBS Fox Video. Biker Scouts flying through the Endor forest with some Return of the Jedi cassettes. It's pretty. You know what? I'm gonna go big here real quick. There we go. Move the chair out of the way. But yeah, CBS Fox Video says that right down in the corner. And how many of you guys actually had this VHS? Right, here's the movie itself. Flying. So again, clearly not a theatrical release poster, but I mean, how could I not grab this? I've never seen one before, so I had to get it, right?
It's pretty cool.
The best time to get something is when you see it. Is that true?
Yeah. The only thing you regret are the things you didn't buy, right? Gary says he has a ton of VHS and laser discs, also working players for both.
Yeah. I bet Gary has a whole room dedicated to watching videos on Laserdisc. Sounds like a Gary move. All right, number 2 poster.
G-Force remembers that poster. I'm going to moderate the chat, okay?
All right, yeah, do that. Yeah, bring up comments and questions that you feel are relevant while I show off. Okay, this next one, purely sentimental, not Star Wars related. It's a rare non-Star Wars purchase for the collection. I do have a few of those, not many, but this one, I think many in the chat, and I want to get your thoughts on this too.
You already know how I feel about it.
It wrecked you, didn't it?
It ruined my childhood.
It ruined.
It's the reason I fear anything today.
It's so good.
Indiana Jones meets Alice in Wonderland. No, there's a sci-fi feel to that that's missing.
Really? Sci-fi, not fantasy?
Well, fantasy, I guess. Yeah, it's got, Maybe a more Lord of the Rings. I would say Lord of the Rings meets.
Labyrinth.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's what I would have said.
I love these guys. You know, Never Ending Story walked so the Princess Bride could run. That's my that's my
That's how
feeling.
you see it.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Standing on the shoulders of giants, right? Hey VTR, I'm glad you're here. I got something to show you. What's up, Skywalker's Academy? Yeah, so I had to get this again purely for sentimental vibes. Indiana Jones meets Alice in Wonderland. That's bold, but
It's also not accurate.
it's also wrong.
It's a good try. It's a good
It
try.
is a good try.
I'm being told I need to give your posters a good clean in the washing machine.
Oh yeah,
You just fold them up and put them in your pockets and
dishwasher, not washing machine. We don't need to get crazy. Since VTR Dave's here, I got something, and this is all from kind of the same interaction with this guy Corey. He showed me pictures of the posters, which, by the way, if you're ever going to buy a poster, whether it's theatrical or advertisement, store advertisement related, it's hard to do that just with pictures because there are some ways to, if you don't know which kind you're getting, pictures aren't always the easiest to tell. But so that meant he showed me pictures, and then we ended up meeting at the local record store in town, not the one he used to work at, but a different one. And we ended up doing a deal there. But while I was in that store, I picked up this, and Dave, this is what I am going to send to you, the Dr. No soundtrack. But there's two things I want you to know about this, and I want everybody to know about this. First of all, there's no album inside. It's empty. It's just the sleeve, okay? So there's no actual soundtrack inside. The cover is really nice. It will display nicely if you decide to put it in your James Bond collection there, BTR. But the second thing, and I thought this was so cool, and why don't albums do this? I don't know if you can see this real well. Can you see that real well?
yeah,
Kind of looks like the outline of a Darth Vader helmet.
it does.
But what this is a stand
Yeah,
that you can display your album on while you're playing it.
that's
That would
brilliant.
be, it's superb.
Well, that's an idea. You need just a plastic stand, so when you play your record, you can display it so that
Yeah. And they do make those. They make those stands so you can display albums, just sitting straight up. But this was built into the sleeve.
I've never seen that. Is that something that's on?
I have never seen this prior to this week myself. So
It's pretty cool.
I thought that was awesome. So
Okay, question.
cheers, Dave.
Why is James Bond in a light blue polo shirt? Why is he?
You mean not in a suit or a tux?
Why is he like casual James Bond in this? It's like their church picture or something, for the directory.
Directory. Casual James Bond exists in every movie. In fact, I can think of in my mind's eye that Daniel Craig was wearing a light blue kind of polo casual shirt in, I think, Casino Royale. But why they chose this photograph to represent Dr. No, I have no idea.
It's interesting. I'm sure there's a reason. There has to be a reason. It just isn't tracking for me. I'm really distracted.
Smash.
The light blue polo is really throwing me off.
It's disarming for the damsel.
It is.
I'll protect you.
But we're also going to church tomorrow.
And picnic following the social. Anyway, Dave, that's coming to you. I'm sending it to you. I saw that and I thought, Dave. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, Ursula. Yeah, that's the gal's name. I think your thumb said it all as to why it was chosen. Yeah. Yeah.
Ursula Andress.
Yeah, that's the actress's name. While at the record store, while we were making these deals for the posters, which I still have one more to show, I picked up a VHS of Attack of the Clones, just because.
Of course you did.
You thought in 2003 we were done with VHSs, and you'd be wrong.
Not for collectors.
Yeah. So it only was $1. So how could
$1 US? I can't pass that.
Woo. But I was talking to Simon about this the other day. I showed him, and he's like, you really think like in 1999 when Phantom Menace came out, that was kind of the last you saw of the VHS movies. But nope, 2003, they were still cranking them out. And then Corey threw this in as thank you for your business, but he gave me an original Star Wars Fox cassette from the collection that he got. And what's kind of cool, what's kind of cool about it is that there's a number on it.
Yeah.
That coincides with a number on the cassette tape. So I don't know if he told me, he said the cassette tape doesn't work. We tried to play it and it didn't work. So I think that's why he gave it to me. But
it's an original.
It's an original, and it looks cool on a shelf, and it's in the hard plastic. It's not the cardboard case. It's it's like, hey, do you want to rent this?
Right. Maybe it was up for rent, which is the number situation.
Yeah. And so the numbers matching is kind of like, I don't know if you ever know anybody that collects or restores old vintage vehicles. Like, it's a numbers matching engine and chassis.
Oh, I didn't. I'll have to ask Grand about that.
Do that.
That's right. Someone didn't rewind. Remember, they all said, please be kind, please rewind.
Oh.
Back in the day.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this up here. Saw a combined original trilogy poster from '87 when they showed the 3 films back to back in the UK cinemas. Yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about. The kind of Star Wars Empire, Return of the Jedi, and it's a quad poster. It's the one I'm thinking of. That's a cool one. It is definitely a cool one. So what's up, Anthony? Trent? Good to see you guys. No, they didn't rewind.
Sai, you have a point. I would like to draw attention to the chat. Sai has a very important fact to share. Like real Vuitton bags, am I right?
Not like Vuitton Vuitton.
Exactly.
I don't know. Do you even like that kind of stuff?
It was so much to learn, Andy. Of course I like that stuff.
Okay. Well, that's a good question.
Yeah. What I would say is, instead of the purses and shoes, we could take many trips to Seaside.
Oh, yeah.
And head over to other such places across the pond. So
yeah, we could spend a month going around the UK, seeing all the folks in the chat. That'd be fun.
At minimum.
If you said all this stuff.
Yes. And we're just talking about the posters.
Perhaps.
Should we take a break and show everybody our shirts?
Sure. Okay, there's mine.
Here's mine. Wrong way.
Matchy.
That was my caveat to being on the show. It had to be matching.
It's a good thing we match. Yeah. Well, Gary says traveling requires bags. Yeah. So.
It's true.
You know what's funny is that I am very much a take it out of the box, take it and play, take it out and play kind of. Next time we see each other, we should swap shirts, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. These arrived just before the toy show. Again, posters. You know I like them. These are Rogue One IMAX at AMC posters. They're not large, but let me just give you a little taste here. There's 3 of them. There's a set of 3.
Just a little snack. Just a little Star Wars snack.
Yeah. Set of 3 IMAX. Anybody that's listened to me talk about posters knows I like the IMAX. But a nice classic Star Wars collage poster right here. Okay, I'm going to show all 3 of them in chat. Tell me which one you like best of the 3. So here's number 1. And I'll tell you which one I like best. Here's number 2.
Okay. Hey, that guy looks like a Backstreet Boy. The guy at the very bottom. Who is that?
That guy?
Yeah, he looks like one of the Backstreet Boys. Am I right?
I know what you're talking about.
Somebody in the chat will agree with me.
And number 3. There's the Backstreet Boy again.
There he is. Okay, let's get a full scope of that one. Okay. All right, 1, 2, or 3. Let's vote.
1, 2, or 3.
Okay, and then I'm going to tell you which one's my favorite.
Okay. Bodhi Rook is the character you're talking about there. Bodhi.
Okay, we have
Thoughtful Krennic. We have Vader's head. And we have close up Jyn Erso.
Yeah, everyone really likes number 2, I think, is what is really getting a lot of votes. Number 2 is really striking.
This one, number 2.
Yeah. I'm surprised because I like number 1.
The classic. This is,
yeah.
There's no wrong choice here. Honestly, my favorite's number 3. Because I like Krennic's in it.
Who's in it? Oh.
Ben Mendelsohn.
You like him?
I do. I thought he played an excellent character. Hey, Chris.
We got 1 agreeing with you on number 3.
Yeah. That's okay.
But most people are liking number 2.
Yeah, that's great. By the way, $10 each, $30 total on OfferUp. Okay, so the whole thing why I met up with Corey was for this poster, not this one, not the flying Return of the Jedi VHS posters, awesome as it is, but for a 36-inch by 12-inch insert poster. Star Wars insert poster. There it is, guys. Boom. There is a theatrical release version of this, and it's got the classic Tom Jung art on it. Classic, right? Am you familiar with this image?
I am.
Yes. Yes, you are. But this is the VHS store version of it, and there's two ways you can tell. You're going to get a little poster lesson here. It came on the thick stock, like a card stock, instead of paper. That's the immediate telltale, which you can't tell from a picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then down below, the theatrical version will have the 77/21 numbering on the bottom, in the bottom right corner, and this does not have that. So this is the VHS version, and I was talking to Danny Katzel, who is one of the moderators on the Star Wars poster Facebook group, and he says, I think this is harder to get. It's harder to find than the theatrical version, but it is significantly less than the theatrical version price-wise.
So when you say insert, this was inserted into the VHS?
Well, no, it wasn't. This came rolled. This one actually, I have an advertisement for it. Believe it or not, I want to show it to you. It'll give just a little bit more clarity on what this is. So this advertisement says, if you buy the Star Wars movie, they'll give you one of these posters. So you could get this, you could see this as an advertisement in a video store, or for a time they were giving these away with purchase of the Star Wars movie.
In the video store, or it was like a mail away thing?
In the video stores.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I know that's black and white, a little tough to see, but
yeah, we got it.
You get it?
Yes.
We there?
Yeah.
So this was the thing that I really wanted to get. I really like these insert posters. They're not super big, but they made one for each of the movies. Actually, a couple versions of the Star Wars, a couple versions, well, maybe 3 versions of The Empire Strikes Back, and 2 versions of Return of the Jedi. So in theatrical and video versions.
In a world where I'm a collector, like in the Upside Down, I think I could be down with posters.
In a world?
I think that I would be okay with that.
Well, they're beautiful.
You know, I can see changing out posters as decor, that kind of thing. Changing up your collection room,
like
wall,
like seasonally.
Yeah, you could have seasonal.
Like spring is Return of the Jedi, summer is Star Wars, kind of like winter is Empire Strikes Back.
I love it. I love where your head's at.
Hot snow.
That's more practical. Yeah.
Indoor spring. It's thematic. It's thematic.
And I think it's a lot more simple than a lot of other collections. I think the posters are speaking to me a little bit.
Well, I don't think you have as much to explain too.
Yeah.
It's like you might have to follow up with, yeah, I collect Star Wars figures and vehicles and toys. You might have to follow up with that if you're having a casual conversation about your hobbies.
Yeah.
You say, I collect movie posters focusing on Star Wars. I don't think you need to follow up with that. I think that's pretty like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. There's a wide range.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
All right. You ready for the big reveal?
Totally ready.
These were awesome. Like I'm thrilled that I got all of these things. But this was the cherry on top. This was the surprise. Josh and I are friends with Greg and Gianni, Red 5 Designs, who made this awesome, massive book, vintage Star Wars Kenner action figure book. And it is a beast of a book and so good. They made this. These are the guys.
Pretty big deal.
Gianni sent me something in the mail. Ugh. And this is the box that was in the box. And it was massive and huge. And it feels like it's one of their books, but it's not. And I know it's not one of their books. So I pre-opened for timely purposes. And man, these guys.
Shabby's gonna like this, right?
Shabby's gonna like this. Everybody in the chat should like this. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. This is so freaking cool. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hey, you know what we can do? BOE, Rob's Retro. TJC. Oh man, we got some guys we don't normally see in here. This is awesome. Let me do this correct. We are to the part of the episode where this is the Red 5 Designs review.
Yeah, don't. Just because Josh isn't here.
Yeah, I'm not back here. Not a toy, but man. Oof. The omnibus hardcover G.I. Joe, Art of G.I. Joe book. And this is the box case that it came in, and it looks just like the figure case, one of the original figure cases. But it's in plastic. I haven't opened it up. But the Art of G.I. Joe book. I saw this at Joe Fest. Everybody at Joe Fest saw this. There was this guy, Carson Metaxas. I spoke with him. We talked about this book. I was very impressed with it. This is a Red 5 Designs kind of book. I mean, it's heavy and it's massive. And I was thumbing through the one that he had on display, and it is incredible. It is so good. I'll post some pictures once I open it up and start to take a peek in it. And if I wasn't so concerned about how I was going to get it home, I probably would have bought one at Joe Fest. And I've been thinking about it ever since. You talked about the only things you regret in collecting are the things that you didn't get. This has been on my mind since, what was it, June? Is that when we went and did that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But to get to talk to the guy who put his heart and soul into it made a big difference too.
Yeah.
He was very, very passionate.
Very. It was his passion project, just like Greg and Johnny's passion project was the figure book.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing him talk about it, like, yeah, it's same but different. You know what I mean? This thing's awesome. I can't wait to get it open. Maybe we'll just open it.
I think once you go through it, you gotta do another stream on everything that's included.
Stream on.
I was impressed. I'm very impressed.
You saw it too.
Yeah, I did, and I got the same presentation that you did, and I was impressed. I loved hearing all the details. It was so thoughtful. Everything that went into
it's a magnetic book.
What's in the book? Yeah, it was incredibly detailed.
Can I even hold this thing up? Oh my gosh, this thing's nuts.
While you're doing that, there's a couple of questions. First of all, if you'll go back to the Rogue One poster one more time. And also, did you pre-order the Battle Action Force books to get the UK version too?
No.
Okay.
You going back to what?
At some point, show the Rogue One poster one more time.
Which one? There were 3. All 3?
Not sure.
Okay. I certainly can. Oh my goodness. This book is radical. Okay, here's the book. This is the back.
The second Rogue One poster. You'll show the second one again.
Thickness. I mean, it is comparable to the Red 5 book in girth, in detail. Oh my gosh. All right, this is going to take a while. All right. Thank you so much, Greg and Johnny. I will cherish this. This is going to go in my Red 5 reading room for sure. I mean, look at the inside of this. Look at the inside of the case. It looks like the figure case. I love it. Even a spot for the file cards. Oh, awesome. The number 2 poster, that was the one, the close-up of Jim. Who needed to see this?
Chris
Padilla.
So
Hey, Jack. Man, I'm way behind in the chat here. Battle Action Force book. No, TJC, I did not. I do have the Bob Brecken Action Force book, though. Scuba Pete gifted me that, and that's pretty freaking cool. Yeah, it's quality, guys. This G.I. Joe book is quality. It's awesome. Yeah, there is you can order it online. Shoot, where can you do that at? I had it on one of my tabs for a long time. Okay, so there's just a stack of artwork in a folder that they include. And like, geez, these are like all worthy of being in a frame. Oh, classic.
Snake Eyes.
Correct. Nothing.
I don't know. Who is it?
Destro. But man. Oh, this one was artwork for the board game. That's cool. All right, Em. You know this guy?
Sadly, no. Who is that?
Snow Job.
Snow Job?
Yeah.
Really? That's his name?
Snow Job. Oh, so cool. Thank you so much, guys. That was awesome. Yeah, don't put those 2 books on the same shelf. That's for sure. Crazy.
Yeah, so once you dive into that book, I know I want to see more. I want to see the details, what's included.
So it's the artwork for G.I. Joe. So you're going to get animators for the cartoon. You're going to get artwork for like the card backs, the figures, and for the box art for the vehicles and play sets and mini sets and all that stuff. And there were obviously more than one artist who did those things. So I feel like it like focuses on, I want to say like 5, or maybe there's more artists, but yeah, there's features on the artists themselves, you know, who they are, how they got it, and then some of the things that they've done. And it's just very, very cool. Every page is full of imagery and information about
just on the artwork.
Yeah, the art of G.I. Joe. And,
Is there a book that is similar to the characters, like just the GI Joe characters, like the Star Wars one that you have?
like just the figures? Not really. No, not at least not that I'm aware of. Nothing that is See, there's that's a hard part about GI Joe too. Is like in 1982 when they started coming out with the 3 3/4 inch figures, they came out with figures every year, and are still coming out with figures. So like with Star Wars, there were 96 figures in that original line of vintage figures. GI Joe, they came out with between, I don't know, 15 to 25 new figures every year for 20 years. So
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. That's a little different.
yeah. So yeah, but man, would it be cool to have a book that did though? That would be quite the passion project.
Well, you could do decades, or they have to be broken up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Rob, I agree too. I hope that guy is going to be at Joe Fest again. Well, I would think that if he was going to be anywhere, that guy would be at Joe Fest. And what I'll do is if you follow us on Twitter or X, whatever you're calling it these days, I will post a link. I will post where you can find the website. If you type in the Art of GI Joe omnibus, it'll pull up. So and they ship everywhere. So he ships everywhere. The guy ships everywhere. He's a great dude. It was fun to talk with him. You could tell he really cared about it, and he had spent a few years putting it all together. So pretty cool stuff. Thank you so much, Greg and John, for that awesome gift. I think, Em, we are about done here. And
I got a number 10 Tennessee, number 7 Alabama game to catch.
ooh, you think Tennessee's got a chance here?
I will see. I mean, Vanderbilt beat Alabama, so
You're not wrong.
there's an opportunity.
Rob. And the comments are zipping through here. Yeah, Shabby and Rob, you guys saw the book too. It's awesome. Trent, let's see this here. Let's post this up. I bet it is. I bet I'd love looking through it. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for joining us here in this little reveal show of some of the things I've picked up lately, and the lovely gift from the Red Fox guys. Em, thanks for helping out, asking questions, being a curious pod partner here.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
And did you enjoy your stream, the ladies' night stream with Shabby?
I did. I loved it. I love that group of ladies. And Shabby's an awesome host. There was a bit of imposter syndrome going on. So that's why I clarified my name here and not a collector. I felt like I need to be more transparent about that. So other than that, it was great. Like I said, Shabby's awesome. He made it super fun, and I believe there's a chat. A stream or podcast that is coming out of that Leslie's heading up. So cool. That'll be fun. Yeah, about collecting as a lady collector,
or adjacent to collecting from a lady's point of view.
Right, an adjacent collector. Maybe that's what I am. I'm an adjacent collector.
A collector of shoes.
Ideas.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, I think Boss Bounty is having a stream here pretty quick, so maybe we'll see you guys over there. Thanks. Go play with your toys, post your pictures, so share them with us, and we'll see you guys very soon in the chat.